In the kingdom of Linical, the territory of the Marquis of Bourgeois, the citizens there said, "Wow, it could be more than 1,000. So many have gathered. Can you believe it's already been a year? Time flies. This year, how many will be elected? How many? I'm more worried about who will die. But if it works, life could become very comfortable. Hey, don't tell me you're willing to sacrifice one's life for something like that. For ordinary people, getting elected is an extraordinary thing. Staying in a factory to work for 15 hours every day. What kind of life is this? Just by passing the exam, commoners can become nobles. You can become a knight, get a house, and get rich. Among everything. The flower of Linical's work. Known as deity and have the power of God. They can control Gigant. If you're a man, you should at least try once. Oh, conquering a Gigant like it's nothing? How many more victims do you want to see? Hey, stop thinking about it and have a drink. And there was a man dressed in shabby clothes and wearing a hood who looked like he wanted to take the Gigant Rider candidate exam. As he was walking there, someone yelled at him, "Hey, loser." Then that person kicked the shabby man in the head and said, "Can't you see clearly? Don't get in the way of the nets for future knights, he." One of the rude man's friends grabbed the shabby man and said, "Who dares to walk like that to the examination center? Do you want to improve your appearance a little?" Then the man smelled a bad odor from the shabby man. He said, "What is this smell?" "The smell that people don't care about." Then his friend said, "Thomas, you're going to be late. Ignore it." Thomas left the shabby man saying, "Oh, why send that man to the exam?" His friend said, "Even lousy losers take tests." The shabby man just stood there and let the people go. And at the admissions test site, there was someone who said gathered 1,000 people, but no one is good. Next. Then a man began to walk to what looked like an altar. After reaching the center of the place, the man immediately rolled over in pain, and the soldier immediately pulled the man, and the man said, "Get out of here. That sucks." Next. Without courage and hard work. How long do you want to stay in exile? Take the opportunity in front of you. Anyone can advance to the center. Pick up that demon stone and become a candidate for the Gigant Rider. Then your family will be rewarded handsomely. The people who heard that said, "Hub gifts. That's funny. Paying the candidate's fees to impress the royal family. Right now the Viscount must be getting annoyed, right? It's not very appropriate. Even though we shut down the factory for the sake of this exam, there doesn't seem to be any candidates who dare. The longer these kids screw up, the more the factory will suffer. This will be a difficult business venture." Then Thomas came to the place and he said, "Watch this, you weaklings." The people who saw that said, "This is it, Thomas. Come on, Thomas, come on." What a determined candidate, Thomas. Thomas can do it. Thomas felt a little insecure about this test. He said in his heart, opportunities in life don't come twice. This is not just an ordinary stone. This is gold encased, representing the future and freedom. Exile Thomas? Not anymore. Now is Sir Thomas of the kingdom. Then Thomas tried with all his might to lift the demon stone. The citizens said, "Look at that." He lifted it up to his chest. "Is this the first time?" "As expected, my friend Thomas is amazing. Go on a little more, keep it up." Thomas said to himself, "Friend? Huh, no kidding. Hanging out with the commoners ends today." The Viscount who saw that said, "Oh, finally." Thomas said in his heart, "This is it. Last chance to change my life. I'll make it." Then the shabby man who saw that felt something was wrong with the reaction of the stone. He said no. Then the stone held by Thomas began to attack him. The shabby man also said no. "Stop it." Then Thomas was no longer able to withstand the power of the demon stone. He failed to lift the stone, and he released the stone from his grasp. Thomas immediately collapsed. The people who saw the incident were terrified. They said, "A life for a stone. That's enough? At this rate, we'll all die." The Viscount said, "Don't make a mess. The kingdom is currently at war. Who's next, huh?" Then the people who were there began to flee from there. The Viscount said, "What's wrong with them? Are they all waiting to start running away? Are they really worth living? That's enough patience. You, come quickly." The people who saw that said, "Let's get out of here. Otherwise, we'll end up like Thomas." That's right. Living as a slave is not a bad choice. Then the soldiers started blocking the exit, and the people started to panic. They said, "Mom? We can't get out." "Marcus, really?" The Viscount said, "You have two choices: surrender or die. Those who are injured and can't work are just wasting food." Then the shabby man, who had been watching from a distance, suddenly raised his hand. He suddenly raised his hand, and the people who saw it said, "Is he crazy? How could he? He's the one who claims to see ghosts. He must want to die." The Viscount, who saw it, said, "Something strange. Who are you?" "Little man, what's strange?" The shabby man said, "I want to try one time." The villagers said, "What keeps you getting into trouble?" It seems he wants to follow in his parents' footsteps and die. And there we are shown the shabby man's past. I was at the lowest point in life. No, it's not even worth living. We see that the shabby man has no place to live. He's just sitting on the side of the road, and then a drunk man passes by him and says, "It's disgusting." Then the drunk man threw him a sandwich. The shabby man immediately took the sandwich and ate it with gusto. While he was eating, a man came running towards him and he kicked the shabby man. He said, "Hey beggar, did you eat something that fell on the floor again?" The shabby man told him that my parents died before I was 10 years old. And since childhood I've had hallucinations that are hard to explain. Nothing is missing, neither the violence nor the hallucinations. No matter whether you close your eyes or not, they are still there. And the shabby man turned out to be looking at a screen that looked like a window from the system. The man who kicked him earlier immediately kicked the shabby man while saying, "Did you see a ghost again? Don't mess around in our territory, just eat and enjoy the mud." The shabby man also told me that in the Lineal Kingdom, when we turn 10 years old, we are named in a ceremony, but orphans cannot participate. So my name is Loser. All I have it is depression and panic disorder. So I've been waiting for this moment, my 19th birthday. Then the people who had beaten him up earlier started to leave the shabby man. They said, "Why did the principal bring someone like him? It should have been destroyed. It's not profitable." The shabby man said, "A birthday where no one congratulates you? A perfect day to die. I've always wanted freedom. And now finally, I am free." Then he jumped into the river. He said, "From hatred and violence, from depression and fear, also from this pathetic body, I bid farewell to the Lineal Kingdom that won't give me a name." "A name? A name? Then come to me. Mr. Olympia Champion, Korea. A memory from a previous life." There the burly man was interviewed by someone. He said, "How do you feel about being the first Asian to win?" The shabby man said, "My name is." The person interviewing him said, "Are there any training secrets or anything like that? Can I touch your muscles? They're so muscular." The shabby man said, "Kang Jio-han, a bodybuilder from South Korea." As Kang Jio-han answered the question, he said, "There is a secret. It's not too complicated. Everyone can do it if they work hard on the 3 main movements in this workout." The man said, "Can it be applied to my face too?" The shabby man said, "Win the world bodybuilding competition and live in luxury." Another quiz. Today with athlete Kang, who conquered K-muscles. Appearing in broadcast shows, modeling for brands sold in various countries. Reaching the peak naturally as Muscle Man, the coolest man. Getting attention from sharing muscle training every day. Luxurious life and a good body. Is this really me? Girls are crazy about him. This is so different, with my pathetic self. Set up the biggest fitness center in the country. Muscle training place, this is Gym Master. Hane focuses on training. What we're going to do tonight? Upper body workout. Yeah. Enough with that. Just working the muscles makes life happy. Beyond Lee Haney, beyond Ronnie Coleman. I want to win 9 Mr. Olympias in a row. That is my goal. With that dream, and these muscles, I feel a sense of freedom. Perfect freedom. The previous life was perfect, but when I was able to enjoy it, I died. He didn't realize that a truck was coming towards him. He tried to avoid the truck, he swerved the car, but because the distance was too close, he couldn't avoid it, and he ended up crashing into the truck very fast. Kang Jio-han said, "No, my previous life. No, if it ends like this." Then he came back to his senses and he shouted, "No, it can't end like this." Then in front of her was a man who looked like he was angry, but he also looked like he had just cried. The man said, "Right, it can't end like this. Take one more punch." Then that man slapped Kang Jio-han, and that man was Captain Davis. Captain Davis said, "Does this knight not value his life, jumping like that?" Kang Jio-han said in his heart, "He saved me, but why?" Captain Davis pulled Kang Jio-han by his collar and said, "Hey Shiki, If you're like this, how can I face your father after death? Kang Jio-han said in his heart tears. I should be the one crying. Am I still alive? The memory of the previous life is like a dream. Then the dream ended, the dream of the previous life. But if I were Kang Jio-han? Captain Davis was still scolding Kang Jio-han. He said, why do you want to die? Ignore other people's chatter. A man must be strong. Kang Jio-han ignored Captain Davis. He looked into a mirror, then he said, you can try again. Yes, it's not over yet. I am a nobody and a coward. 19 years old and still young. Captain Davis said, hey, I'm talking to you, look this way. Kang Jio-han was still ignoring Captain Davis. He stood up to the mirror and said low-fat physical strength and flexibility are all dry skinny body. I can grow even better. Plus the hallucinations that tormented me all this time. It's the window system. It was written that Kang Jio-han, height 176 centimeters, weight 55 kilograms, willpower 4.8 out of 18, strength 6.8 out of 7, body fat 6.36 kilograms, muscle mass 20.03 kilograms. Kang Jio-han said, I'm not crazy, but I have a crazy skill. Seeing Kang Jio-han holding his stomach, Captain Davis said, ha, speaking of stomach, are you hungry? Wait a minute. Then he left to get some food for him. Then Captain Davis came back there and he brought some food. He said, this is grass soup, let's eat a little, even if it's just something simple, to replenish your strength. Kang Jio-han said, there's even nutritional information. It was written that Nokita grass contains a small amount of vitamin B, 300 left to achieve optimal daily vitamin B intake. Kang Jio-han said, I never realized. All this time, it was written in Hangul. Everything becomes clear when searching for memories of previous lives. Then Kang Jio-han excitedly said, Captain, in 1 month there will be a test to become a writer, right? Captain Davis said, yes, that's right. But are you for real? Kang Jio-han ran out of the room feeling so excited, and then he said, yes, I am. Even though it sounds strange. You said not to listen to people. Captain Davis, who saw Kang Jio-han's behavior, said, is he going crazy? Kang Jio-han said in his heart, then you've been lazing around for 19 years. But it's not impossible, because of the memories from the previous life. Plus, with the window system, I can see the nutrients contained in food. This feels like cheating. Then what to do? Now I can have fun by developing my muscles. Then Kang Jio-han jumped high and he fell to the ground just like that. Kang Jio-han said, I forgot that my stamina is bad and I have depression. This body needs more training and effort. Then Kang Jio-han started climbing up the mountain. There he said, first, I need to cure my depression and panic disorder. Then Kang Jio-han took out a vegetable. The system said nutritional information. Period grass helps maintain serotonin in the brain. You still need to have the required daily amount of serotonin. Kang Jio-han said, the key to fitness is not just muscle development. Bodybuilders actually understand anatomy, physiology, kinesiology, and nutrition. Depression will get worse when transmitters to the brain such as dopamine and serotonin are lacking. It can be resolved with the right diet. For an alternative to antidepressants, you can use omega-3 and protein. I will eat everything that is edible and healthy for my body. Then Kang Jio-han picked up all the plants on the mountain and put them in his bag. Kang Jio-han said, by the way, meat is too hard to find. Can I eat 2 kilograms of grass every day? Then Kang Jio-han remembered the TV show that showed the healthy food he had made. The person said, hello. This is Heljiang TV. Finally, this time we can see Kang Jio-han's daily food. This is protein rice, the food Kang Jio-han eats every day. Without seasoning, no side dishes, no pain, only muscles. What do you think? Take a look at this. Kang Jio-han said, I feel like throwing up. I haven't eaten this much in over 19 years. Well, Kang Jio-han eats something like this too, every day. Being the best in the whole world, it's not easy. Kang Jio-han continued to eat the grass while enduring his nausea. After eating all the grass, he went to work in the factory. He said, manual labor is another exercise. Even though it's hard work. If I think about it, it's a very intense training of the triceps muscles for 15 hours every day. The result of all my hard work is my muscle development. Because he was so excited, he threw the cart after he reached the delivery place, and the workers yelled at him, hey, don't throw the cart. Slow down. Kang Jio-han said, after a month of hard work, I become stronger. I hope all my efforts were not in vain. Now, then Kang Jio-han walked forward while inhaling something. The people watching were wondering about it. They said, huh? What is he sniffing? Then Kang Jio-han threw the item that he had just inhaled. The people who saw it said, huh? He threw something. The person picked up the item and tried to inhale it, saying, what a strange smell. Then the person's nose started to hurt. He said, crazy, it's urine. You're crazy. What a disgusting asshole. The people who heard that said, that's gross. Can you trust someone like that? Kang Jio-han said in his heart, another method is smelling salt. Smelling salt is an inhalation stimulant. The purpose of smelling salt is to increase breathing and blood flow to the brain. It is actually a combination of diluted ammonia mixed with water and ethanol. The system said, the smell of ammonia causes your body to enter a state of wakefulness. Willpower increased by 1, duration 30 seconds. Willpower becomes 3.8 plus 7 from a total of 18. Kang Jio-han said, strength cannot lift the magic stone, willpower can. Smelling salt, a solid ammonia, commonly used by powerlifters when trying to lift heavy weights. When the gas enters the nasal cavity, the nervous system is stimulated, causing a momentary movement effect. The Viscount said, hey, anchovy. If you're not serious, then your family and the surrounding area should be held responsible. Get ready and come here. Then Kang Jio-han stood in front of the stone. He said, I have skills as a bodybuilder that Thomas doesn't have. With all the doping I've used, my willpower is now 11.8, although it's lower than Thomas. But Thomas can't use his willpower directly. He was dragged down by the power of the magic stone. All it takes is 1 on repetition maximum. Exerting the entire power directly. A technique you can acquire after practicing for years. Must release yourself from pressure. If I'm as desperate as Thomas, the body will get tired quickly when we exert our strength. The trick to not becoming overwhelmed when facing a tough task is to make it a habit. Kang Jio-han started holding the stone while preparing his position. The people who saw it started laughing, and they said, what is he doing, haha? Kang Jio-han said, the secret of a bodybuilder to maintain energy while increasing maximum weight is turning the stress of the heavy weights into a normal everyday thing. Because if you're used to eating, it won't be difficult. It's just a stone. Imagine the practice I've been doing every day. That's right, it's just like what I used to do. Deadlift. Kang Jio-han began to lift the stone. He said, as a routine, it's like practicing 15 hours a day. Straighten your back. Tighten your buttocks. Maintain the abdominal position. Take a deep breath. Receive with the whole body. Power clean. Strengthen the thumbs. Center the gravity in a straight line. Kang Jio-han successfully lifted the stone to his chest height. The people said, oh, he lifted it. Kang Jio-han said, weightlifting skill. Bend and bounce your legs to engage your upper body. Then Kang Jio-han successfully lifted the stone high. The people said, look at that. He lifted it like a bull. Then the supervisor started counting down 3, 2, a little more, 1. The Viscount was surprised and happy at the same time. He said, what? Then Kang Jio-han threw the stone down, and he said, I did it. And throw it on the ground. That's how you get it done. The people cheered him on. They said, you did it. You're the best. Finally, I can go home. Hey, thanks. Because of you, I can go home. Where did you learn how to lift it? The Viscount said, someone finally did it. Good. What's your name? Panting, Kang Jio-han said, my name is. Then a citizen said, he doesn't have a name. Kang Jio-han smilingly said, I am Kang Jio-han. Then he said in his heart, look at this, the old me. The people who heard that said, huh? Gango, Gango. What's with the name? Did he say it right? Kang Jio-han said in his heart, I will be the best again, in the lineal kingdom. Then his legs trembled, and he said, but still, I still have low stamina. Starting tomorrow, I will focus on lower body training.